This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, freakazoids? Let's see. Thank you to Lori Akers, Annabelle Stealth, and Lisa Valenzuela. Before the show, look at that. We already got 6.39% of the goal met before the show even started. How do you like that? How's it going, everybody? Oh, thanks, Eugenie. And thank you, Sonia, for 5 months of membership. Must be doing something right for some of the people, right? I mean, I really do appreciate all the channel members. I don't get to do all the fun little... I don't have time to do, like, you know, oh, wow, I'm going to do, like, 6 members-only lives this week, and 3 of these, and 3 of these, and 3 of these. If you guys want to support the channel by being channel members, that's awesome, but, you know, I do have... There's discounts on things, you get the emojis, that kind of thing, but, you know, doing... It's hard enough to get material for the shows than to do an extra... but sometimes I make things just for members only after it happens. That way, you know, at least you guys can still watch it. Or, you know, you had to be there to watch it originally, or you'd be a channel member. Yeah. Yep, so we did the Arius trial, day number 48 and 49. Tomorrow will be day 50. I don't think DeMarte is still up there. I don't know. Sounds like she... Well, it looks like she was still on the stand when it was over. So I don't know what the deal is there, but we'll see. Oh, you got your Mopix. Sweet. Yeah, I just got the Freak stress balls today. Or they're not really... Let me... Here, I'll show you the... Yeah, so we still have about, I don't know, 25. It seems like people didn't order as many. It was a big rush at the beginning to get the blue notebook. But here's what you get with the, if you send 25 to PayPal and you say you want a notebook, you get the blue notebook with his paw prints on there. That's what I was waiting for again. The Freak stress ball. You can squeeze it, pretend it's my face, and crush it if you want to. And then also the blue pen that says Freak on it. All right. So there you go. That is what you get in that package. So people were asking about it earlier, so thought I'd throw it out there. You know what the first thing I wanted to bring up though was, you know I always tell you guys that women should be able to compete against men if they're good enough. I think there's a possibility that this one woman who just won the 1,500 meters, broke the world record, could be one of those people. Because what happens is she's running against these people that are slower. And, you know, at the very end, she'll beat everybody, but it's like, man, what if you had them pushing you, the men, you're in a race with men, so you're going faster the whole time. You know, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Yeah, there, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so this lady named Faith Kip, I think it's like Kipyagan. I mean, she is absolutely incredible. I mean, she was running the 1,500 meters, and then just the whole last lap sprinted like it was her first lap of the day, never even grimaced on her face whatsoever, was basically sprinting all the way down and broke the world, got 3:49 something, or 3:49.11 in the 1,500. And you know what's crazy? The men's Olympic champion in 2016 was 3:50. So what's crazy is he had just run that same race against those people, would have won the gold medal against the men, although the world record for men is 3:32 or something. I mean, it's way, you know, it's like, it's up there, but I bet you she could run a time that would win a lot of times, like 3:42 or 4 or something, if she was literally running in a pack where there was men in it. I mean, she just had to kind of go off on her own at the end there. But she didn't even grimace. She didn't, I mean, you got to go watch the race. It's the craziest thing. Her name is Faith Kipyagan for the 1,500 world record. That last lap, she just literally, it looked like she was running the 100-meter dash. It was the craziest thing. Never seen anybody be able to do that. Just high turnover, you know, ridiculous what she did there. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So why not allow, like, if someone like her, I wouldn't mind seeing her in a race just to see what happens, an open 1,500 or something, you know, where it's just like, okay, you know, would they push her? Let's say then she could run 3:47, extending the world record. But instead, you know, it's kind of a slower competition. I think, I don't know. No, I think she's exactly what I'm talking about right here. I mean, don't you think it's amazing that at her time? I mean, sometimes a 1,500 is sort of a strategic race where people are holding back. But her time would have won the gold medal in 2016 against men. So that is weird, right? So anyways, there you go. Boom. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Would you have the same excitement if I said that was a guy that said he was a girl and ran a 3:49? Probably not. All right, let's see. What I just said was the truth again, everybody. Gray, I don't know. I think it would still be, you know, it would be a good time, but yeah. Right, she's biological female, Dobby. Yeah, 100%. She's not even tall. She's like a little tiny girl. I don't even know what she's doing. It's amazing. It's crazy. So anyways, you guys can see the goal at the top of the screen in the upper left. That's what, you know, I'm trying to keep up a pace for what we've been doing. The last month I've been working really hard doing 2 different shows all day. You know, it's been sort of interesting how the daytime crew we're watching the old Arius trial all the way from the beginning. You know, it's weird. It's a totally different sort of atmosphere during the daytime. But you know, we're all the same freaks. That's the thing. Yeah, you gotta go watch that. Her final lap, at least, is ridiculous. I can't play it here. All right, so also Grady Judd. I'm gonna play this press conference. It's like 25 minutes long. Yeah, she's tiny. Yeah, right there. What is it? 5'2", 93 pounds. Yeah. Hey, just look at her face when she's running that last lap. There is not the slightest grimace. when she's done, she's jumping around, running. She probably could run the 800 and get a world record. Just run like that both times around, and you do it. I don't know if she's fast enough to win like the 400 or something, but 800 is sort of this weird, you have to have stamina and sprint. So she might not be fast enough to do that because those people just keep sprinting. But the 1500, man, that is just, it's a brutal race. You're running at like 85% speed the whole time. Could see what goal? What do you mean you can't? What do you mean you can't see the goal? It's in the upper left-hand corner up here. Oh, you mean because there's writing on it? Oh. Oh, this thing. Yeah, I'll just move it down here. It's low. I mean, the thing is once I put the goal up there, it's the night show has been less than it ever has been once I've put the goal up on the screen. Because it sort of gets there and then they go, oh yeah. But before, 300 was when I'd give out a notebook, right? And now we're hardly ever giving out notebooks because it's on the screen there. But I don't want to put some crazy number up there. But if you look at it and you go, oh well, 250, man, that's a lot of. Is it really a lot though? When you have 250, 300 people watching, and at the end of the day, 30% of that goes to YouTube, and then you cut that in half because I send the other half into charities, and it's not really a lot. Okay. Hey, thank you, Kathy Friedenmaker. All right, Lillian. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do now? Oh, yeah, the press conference. Right? You guys ready for this? I think he busted a child pornography ring. It's just, I think there's a hell of a lot more of these people than we all believed. I think my eyes started getting open just when after, literally, I mean, we'd seen it a little bit because I've been watching this YouTube channel that was, busting these people. And then after, reading through the documents of the Keegan Klein and so forth, I just started thinking, man, with the Dropbox account and all these crazy people out there, there is so many more than any of us realized. Not me, Gray. I've been okay, good for you. All right. Now here we go. You gotta turn up the audio.
Child pornographers. Now, I want to underscore that data tells us that if child pornographers had the opportunity, the overwhelming majority of them would, in fact,
thank you, Kathy Friedenmaker and Alley Cake,
sexually battered children. So our goal is to get these folks out of circulation, get them arrested for their evil deeds, and what we're going to talk about today, I think you'll agree, is evil deeds before they have the opportunity to victimize children in person. Why do I say that? Because anytime you buy, sell, trade child pornography and view it, then the child who's in that child pornography is re-victimized. I will underscore today that even though we seized 1,276 images of horrible, frightening child pornography, in this particular operation, we did not identify any victims that we could rescue. And that's our primary goal. 1,276, that was felony 2.
Yeah, so where was this? On another Dropbox account somewhere?
2 charges. Actually, we had 4 felony 3 for a total of 1,280 criminal felony counts or charges. Now, folks, children have been victimized through video clips and or still photos. And I'm joined today by our state attorney's prosecutor. Brian Haas simply has the best state attorney's office. Brad Copley has prosecuted these cases for years and worked with our folks on the search warrants and the arrest warrants, as we targeted these folks who are victimizing children with just the swapping and selling and looking at child porn, but you're going to hear much more in just a minute. All of these people, which is unusual, are from Polk County. They should know better, because we're coming after everyone who does this with a vengeance and will chase you to the ends of the earth. And you've been here in the past when we, in fact, chased one all the way to Australia. But what you're not going to see today, for good reason, is the screaming and hollering of the children in pain and agony and fear while they're being sexually battered. That's right. My detectives have to see the video clips of the children screaming in pain and fear and agony because of evil monsters that are creating the child porn that these people are swapping and enjoying in their deranged mind. But it's important that we go over these folks, because I want you to have a full understanding of just how nasty they are. They're nasty, nasty.
By the way, I just was looking in there. It looks like my title isn't right. It didn't take again. You know, it's so weird. You put it in there, and then you start the show, and the title isn't the same as what you put on there. Then it screws up everything, because you can't really go out and fix any links that you put out there. But anyways, it is what it is.
Nasty people. First, let me introduce you to David Sparks. He's 66 years of age. He's retired. He was in customer service, and he's married. He's charged with 350 counts of child porn that we found on a CD.
Does this guy have any lips? He's one of the weirdest looking people I've ever seen. Honest to God.
We found that these children that were being sexually battered were between 3 months old and 12 years old on the porn that he had. His wife of 10 years is a retired Child Protective Services worker out of Missouri. She had no knowledge of his evil deeds and was absolutely mortified, because she spent years and years and years protecting children, only to have his secret life destroying children's lives. Because you see, if there weren't people to watch child porn, there wouldn't be anybody making child porn. And you see him from the outside, as the detective said, he looks like a nice old grandfather.
No, he doesn't. Jesus.
Until you get into his digital devices and see the evilness that lurks behind the curtain.
I wonder what he looks like after he eats a hamburger.
Then there's Stefan Young. He's 58. Stefan has a business, a photography business called Enchanting Boudoir. And I'm from Polk County. To me, that's like taking pictures of people in their underwear, okay? But they call it Enchanting Boudoir. So we started an undercover operation against this guy because we had a concerned citizen who saw his advertisements on Craigslist that he would take photographs of people in their underwear. And he found out that they would do this also for children. So he called on us, and we appreciate this man in the community being curious, making a phone call, saying, ooh, there's something here, and notifying us, so we went undercover. He claimed that he had taken photographs of children. Did you hear what I said? As young as 13, not only in their lace and silk underwear, but sometimes totally nude. But he bragged that he did this with the parents' authorization. Now, we don't know who these children are yet. We don't know who these parents are yet. But I want to tell you parents something. If you're having your children's nude photographs taken by Stefan Young or anybody else, in provocative, sexual, lacy underwear, we're going to put you in jail too. That is not all right, ever. In addition to that, he said he would do dressed and undressed pictures with the undercovers children. And he said, but listen, if Grady Judd finds out, we're in trouble. Because, see, he'll take art and make it pornography. Well, Stefan, it's pornography. It's not art. And your ugly mug is in the county jail. That's right. He knew he was going to be in trouble when we figured it out. Because Grady Judd
That's awesome.
takes art and makes it pornography. He justified this as art. It's not art when you're taking nude pictures of children. It's not art when you're in possession of child porn. And he also said he had, once again, this is his communication, we need these victims, that he had physical sexual contact with two girls as young as 9 and 11 years of age. We don't know where they are. We need those victims. We're looking for them. And then he told the undercover another Grady Juddism. Don't talk to Grady Judd. If you do, I'll go to jail. He was right. He's in jail. He knew what he was doing was wrong, or he wouldn't have been concerned that Grady Judd knew. Listen, he's still under investigation. There are people in this community that know of his evilness, that know that, according to his statements, not ours, that he sexually battered children, that he took photographs, nude photographs of little children. We want to find those victims. Help us out. This is a bad man, and we want him to go to prison for a long time. And then there's Paul Val. He's 40, from Davenport. He's married. He works at Disney World at Cosmic Ray's restaurant. In fact, he just recently moved to Polk County from Indiana, and he moved here specifically to work at Disney World.
He probably thought Disney World would be, somewhat okay with what he was doing.
Well, you know, back in the day, they arrested Willie Sutton for robbing banks. He was a notorious bank robber. And they asked Willie Sutton, hey, Willie, why do you rob banks? And he said, well, that's where the money is. Well, why do people like Paul Vale work at Disney? Because that's where the children are. And they want to be around children. He had 540 counts of child pornography from newborns to 8 years of age. He also had videos. And he was a sadomasochist. There was photographs where they had tied up babies in preparation for sexual battery. There was one where a child was just weeks old, where they had the child's hands tied behind her back.
God,
Can you believe that?
No, see, these people should just
A
be
very young
taken
child
off the
with
face
their
of the
hands
earth.
tied behind her back.
Sick. Yeah.
There's videos of a 3 to 6 month old being sexually battered by an adult male. His wife asked, she's only been married to him for a year, did I marry a monster? Yes, you did. You married a monster. By the way, when we kicked the door in, he came to the door nude. Think about this for a minute. Photographs of children bound up some with their hands tied behind their backs. Infants. Infants. Then there's Jay Holmuth, 52, of Lakeland. He's married. We investigated this guy a while back and could not establish enough probable cause to arrest him. So he got a really, really lucky break that we couldn't get there on that last child porn investigation. But he had a shot over the bow. He had a warning, but he went.
You know, the good thing is that guy doesn't look like a child porn addict, does he? Or a pedophile, right? I mean, yeah, he just looks like a normal dude, you know, so wow, that's weird.
Back and he did it again. And we got him this time. You know what this rascal did? What his job was? He worked at the warehouse at Publix making potato salad. Now, I don't know what kind of potato salad it was, but you're safe to eat it now because he's in the jail, and we're not letting that rascal make potato salad in the jail. But that potato salad maker would also watch child porn when he could. He's been married 26 years. He carried micro SD cards in his wallet, maybe so he could drop one in a device and watch, you know, when he was away from home. But he carried micro SD cards in his wallet.
Isn't that amazing, you guys? Yeah.
If you've ever ordered potato salad and you had a micro SD card in it, return it to us because it's illegal, what he has on it. Shane Osborne, 33, Polk City. He works at Best Buy Warehouse in Polk City as well. He had 200 images of children between the ages of 1 and 13 years of age. He confessed. He said, but it's all a mistake. It's a mistake. I want y'all to know that. Because what I was looking for is bestiality photographs of people having sex with like dogs and horses. I've got a word for that. Nay, that's illegal. Horses don't want to be messed around with, and neither do dogs. They can't testify. But if you'll find any dogs he's been around, we'll give a sex battery test and see if we can figure out enough physical evidence to charge him with that. But that's his excuse. Hey, I didn't mean to download this child porn. 201 counts, and you didn't mean to? It was an accident? You were looking for adults having sex with dogs and horses? Man, you're a messed up individual. Then there's Reed Donaldson. He's 24. He also works at Best Buy, but he works in sales at Posner. He would go by the alias online as Aaron. He had 11 counts of child porn, children between 3 and 9 years of age. We arrested him at work. I don't know if we had to say, excuse me, customer, but he can't sell you a television right now because he's going to jail. But if you'll buy that television from Best Buy and turn it on, you can see his picture on it in a few days. They're all in jail. He's in jail. But William is married too. William Kuvas, 49, from Auburndale. He works for Coca-Cola in Auburndale. He had 67 counts of child porn, but to children between 6 and 10 years of age. I'm sorry, children between 4 and 12 years of age. He had 2 children at home. I underscore, there were no photographs of his children.
So you can just tell this is like a just drop in the bucket here. This is everywhere, all over the place. And how do they clean this up? These people can't be changed. You know, it's not like, this is just who they are, these people.
In the child porn, and his wife was horrified. Not only was he looking at child porn that covered the age range of his children, His wife is horrified, and no, his children weren't involved. We've screened them, and that's the first thing we do. The only bright spot in this investigation is apparently, from all indications,
That wouldn't sound like this guy in
that
Portland.
the children weren't involved. Mama, you got time now. He's in jail.
In Portland, if they give a press conference like this, they would be like, how can we help these guys to be different? That's what they would be talking about.
You don't want him around your children. Not with that kind of nastiness. Ryan Thomas is 39 from Haines City. He's unemployed. He lives with mom and dad.
No
Well, isn't
doubt.
that sweet?
Has no ears.
You're unemployed. You won't work. You're so sorry you won't work. You won't take care of yourself. Mom and daddy always will be your mom and daddy. They take you in, and the thanks that they get is we search their house with a search warrant because you're in possession of child porn of children between 5 and 7 years of age. Oh, by the way, he liked to play computer games. We saw his gaming computer, and you know, you can talk to children on these gaming computers as well as play games with them and groom them, all while he's living at home with mom and dad. These are all filthy individuals.
I was thinking that, hey,
We're
that's
gonna
one of
do
the
our
ones that
very
Zozo's
best to
talking
send them to
about.
prison for a very long time.
Living in the dad's basement.
But the investigation against them goes on. All of their devices have not been completely forensically examined.
Hey, thanks for Laney Jones.
So there will be additional charges filed against these folks. We know that we need on our boardwear guy, or underwear guy as we say in Polk County,
Absolutely disgusting monsters.
we
Thank
need
you,
people
Grant,
to
for all you
cooperate
do.
with us because we know there are victims out there that we're unaware of. We always strive to identify the victims in the photographs, and that investigation will go on as we work with NCMEC as well.
Nick
As I
Mack.
close out today, here's a
And
warning.
there you go, you guys. That's one of the organizations that we donate a lot of money to, NCMEC. And guess how that happens? You can send it in yourself, or if you help support my channel, I always send in money to various charities and so forth during each of the months out of the income from the channel. Okay, and that's one of the great things we've been doing. I think we're at 152,000 since January 2020.
Warning to those in the community, we're coming after you. If you're a child predator, if you're involved in child pornography, you are at the top of our list.
I think NCMEC's they've been around for so long, they're so valuable.
Of people to investigate and arrest. You're not going to victimize the children. You're just not going to
Is Portland
victimize our children.
They're idiots.
Any
I don't know
questions?
what you wanna-
You said the men were from Polk County. Is there, and I know that you're working through to establish who these victims are. Do you suspect or believe that any of the children might be from
Got
Polk
on
County
what?
as well?
Eugene?
In this day and age,
What does that mean?
it is so easy to make child porn. Anybody with a half decent cell phone can be in the business. So why way back in the day, before and in the beginning of the internet days, child porn was very rare and very difficult to first make and then obtain.
Thanks, Lex.
It was easier to track where it came from, and most of it, quite frankly, came from overseas. Today, there is a possibility that it occurred here. My detectives who have to look at this horrible stuff every day recognize some of it as being on the queue, and it's just moved around the country and the world. We don't have any specific information right now that any of it was made here, but it's certainly not beyond the realm of possibility. Most of this child porn today is not what we would call professional lighting.
Hey, thank you so much, Collie Gal 3. Look out! Look at the. Isn't it cool over there in the chat overlay that's in there, where you see the super stickers play over there? It's pretty cool how that person who wrote that code did that. But.
Professional photography grade child porn. It's somebody at home with a cell phone. Some of it they go to a little further extent. But it's all horrible, and we always want to find the victims. But even if we find the victims and rescue them, every time that image is downloaded, that baby is reoffended, is re-victimized. And that's what we see is once it's out there, it's out there. And stopping it.
I wish he was I wish this guy was our United States Attorney General. And his philosophy was mandated throughout the United States. That's what I wish. I just can't stand some of the crap, the just garbage sort of leadership there is out there in a lot of different places.
Remarkably difficult. There's also the dark web. There are evil people on the dark web that we are investigating. We're going after them. It's more difficult.
But they need a place too, Grady Judd. Wouldn't it be better just to shower them with love and understanding and to help them through it? I mean, who are we to judge them, Grady? Gee.
I think they've got it all figured out. But there's people on the dark web that we're not getting to yet that are just as evil as these folks, but maybe more tech savvy. We're investigating them too.
Yeah.
Don't
That's what
relax.
It's like in Portland, San Francisco, New York.
Our folks are figuring out new ways and new methods
understanding
to investigate
for the
you every day.
criminals. Yeah, screw it.
Anything else?
You mentioned that, I noticed you're bringing out that their occupations. Are you trying to say, too, in looking at them, if you saw them on the street, would the average person say, hey, there's a child predator? Talk a little bit about that.
That's important to understand that when we deal with these kinds of very dangerous criminals, they're not traditional criminals. You don't see long criminal histories. What you see is people who have committed crime by hiding the entire life this hidden life. Many of these people have a public life and a secret life. We truly believe the wives whenever they said, we didn't know, because it's not uncommon for them to hide this from everyone.
Or maybe something like the head of Homeland Security or something. Somewhere where his law enforcement philosophies get transferred to the rest of the country.
So
I know states are autonomous and whatnot, but I think if they see a leader who's out there and he's a certain way that gives confidence to these people that have been sort of other leaders in different areas that have been almost conditioned to act in this snivelly, little whiny bullshit way where child predators and criminals and everybody feel like they just can run the show. Okay, we can't have that anymore. All right, we need to get law and order back. I've said this 1,000 times. Defund the police was one of the most idiotic, stupid concepts ever mentioned by a soul. The people who brought those types of things up are now bankrupt. That one organization that just kept pushing all that stuff after they bought all their mansions, they're completely bankrupt now. It was a total scam and a sham and a load of shit. All right.
when you see them on the street, they can look like Joe average citizen, just like the detective said. This one guy looked and acted and carried himself like just an old nice grandpa until you saw his secret side. And you saw that he's attracted to infants. and that he watches child pornography. And then our research shows us that the majority of these
All right,
people,
no
given
tourist
the
dance. We'll see you there
opportunity,
later.
would sexually batter children. And children are being sexually battered all over this nation and across and around this world every day by people just like this. That's why we have to go after them. And it's easier to get the child predators than it is the child pornographers. Because if they're strictly child pornographers, they move a lot of this on the dark web, and it makes it more difficult for us to catch them. Whereas if they're wanting to attract or find children, they have to surface and go to where the children play. So in many respects, it's easier to identify the child predator, the overt child predator, than it is the covert child pornographer.
Does that make a guy like Paul, the Disney guy, that much more scary
I
because
wouldn't-
he was
I don't know if you could do
around
pro.
and working with kids every day?
Absolutely. And you must understand, you know, when you go back to some of the origins of the word pedophile, it means child lover.
Mm-hmm.
These people love children. In their deranged minds, many of them believe, even though socially it's not acceptable, legally it's illegal, but in their mind, they think loving children is as normal as a normal heterosexual relationship between two consenting adults. Some of them believe that, especially our child predators.
You probably should have left the word heterosexual out of that, right? Given today's world, right? He would just say two consenting adults.
Even though they'll tell you, oh, I know it's illegal, I know it's not right. They've got this internal mechanism that triggers, and they'll go after your children. And if you're not all up in your children's business, if you don't know what they're doing online, if you're not monitoring it, if you're giving them space, you can be sure of one thing. The child predators fill in the space that you're giving them. You've got to be all up in your children's business. Okay? Thank you very much.
Boom. Awesome. More wackos gone. And amongst, while this is going on, you've got these people out there trying to normalize pedophiles and trying to make it seem like they're just another problem. They're no different than any of the other things. You know, they are born that way. They are attracted to pre-puberty children. But the thing is so what? You know, what they're trying to do is make it seem like we're supposed to accept them in society as teachers and, you know, campfire scout leaders or Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and all that kind of shit. And the reality is we shouldn't have to accept it at all. And, you know, they might say, well, they're not, as long as they're not practicing. But let me ask you, what are they doing to, you know, to relieve their sexual tension? You know, are they looking at other pictures of little kids again? I mean, so these people are just sick. And, I don't know what you do to them, though. You know, they live in society. It's just sick. Sick as hell is what it is. But anyways, gotta get off that topic. It's just drives me nuts. Ridiculous. But anyways, you guys, if you'd like to help support the channel, we got the goal in the upper left-hand corner. Caligal 3 is now the Super Freak. I think it takes $20 in combined or one single thing or more to get her out of there. So that'd be great. We are at the goal's $250, and that's it. I appreciate you guys' support in here. Many think that it's romantic. Yeah, well, they're psycho, right? So, you know, what do you do with these people? Also, thank you to Kelly for the order of a notebook. Sweet. All right. We just got the stress balls in for people just showing up. finally got here. But yes, it seems like in the last 2 years or so, I've just been made so much more aware of the prevalence of this type of behavior. It's disgusting. It's all over the place. Alright, these are a couple of articles came out. We'll just go through both of them and see what anything new in them. On John Forsythe here. This one's in the New York Post. It says a Missouri ER doctor who went missing for more than a week was seen getting into another vehicle with an unknown driver before his body was found in a lake, according to his family. So now they're saying he got into a vehicle. Hey, thanks, Georgina Stoliker. Security cameras show Dr. John Forsythe entering the car in the parking lot of a public pool in Cassville, Missouri on May 21st. His brother, Richard Forsythe, told the Associated Press. The footage captured some of the 49-year-old doctor's last known movements before he was found dead Tuesday by a kayaker in Beaver Lake in Arkansas, about an hour south of Cassville. He appears to have died from a gunshot wound. After entering the unknown car, Forsythe apparently got out before the driver left the parking lot. I wonder if maybe that's where he got his gun or something. Look at this shit going on over here. After entering the unknown car, Forsythe apparently got out before the driver left the parking lot. Okay. His brother had previously told the Daily Beast, citing police, the surveillance video showed Forsythe walking around in the parking lot about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, so that is what the brother is saying out there. So what was he doing? Just kind of roaming around? And then it says after the car left. Okay. Forsythe then mysteriously left his own unlocked car behind in the parking lot. Okay. I get that. How did his car get to where it was eventually found, though? So that's what I wanted to know. That's what I was going to ask him if I got to talk to him, but he sent me something and said that it sounds like they're sort of clamming up now. Not talking anymore. So he left his own unlocked car in the parking lot. See, I think there's something wrong or misunderstood somewhere here. Because yes, his car was found unlocked, but it was in a weird place parked way down on the side of a road that likely wouldn't have been caught on surveillance footage. Richard Forsythe said his brother had texted his new fiancée around 7 a.m. the day he disappeared, telling her he would see her soon. Then he suddenly stopped responding to messages. Officials who remain tight-lipped, releasing information regarding the case, have not identified the driver of the other vehicle. Detectives told Forsythe's brother that the death is being investigated as a homicide. He told Ozark First. However, authorities have not said whether or not they believe he was killed or took his own life. Well, then it wouldn't be let's see. A homicide means somebody killed by another person. So I think suicide is not a homicide. I don't know. Let me type that in. Now I'm curious. Is suicide a homicide? Because I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. So suicide and homicide differ in terms of the person doing the killing. A person commits suicide by killing. Okay, is suicide a form of homicide. I don't think it is. A suicide, murder? Suicide appears first in English law. A murder-suicide, no. Yeah, so it's not. So I don't know what this article is trying to say here. Doesn't make sense. If they're saying they're investigating it as a homicide, I guess is what they're saying. So they're saying, like, you know, we're going to treat it as a homicide, and if it turns out it's a suicide later, so be it, but we need to have all the resources as if it was a homicide. Okay. Now it makes sense. However, authorities have not said whether or not they believe he was killed or took his own life. Benton County Coroner Danielle Oxford said an autopsy was completed Thursday. The results won't be released until the investigation is complete. Hey, thank you, Lady Lactuca. Hopefully I said that right. It's hard to say. Richard Forsythe said family had been gathered together eating dinner Tuesday night when state police officer came to the door to share the tragic news. Family members have rejected the idea that loving, happy father would commit suicide. There's no way he killed himself, Richard Forsythe told Fox News. Many times he mentioned he might be in danger. Yeah. He loved his work as a doctor and rarely missed a day of work, often sleeping in an RV outside the hospital. His RV was also left unlocked, which Richard also called very uncharacteristic. Richard Forsythe said that his brother was previously been involved in dangerous situations and that he was kidnapped and released in February 2022. See, how do we know this is true here, other than him saying that? The brother. Why? I mean, this whole story just sounds weird to me. It almost sounds like you're making, you're bringing up a story to make it sound like there's something else out there. It's just a weird, crazy story. And if it wasn't told to any other person, then I'm suspicious as hell of that story as being real. Okay? That story just sounds so sort of manipulative to get the police to think differently about a case. Oh wow, so he had somebody out there? Oh holy shit, we need to look in all these other directions. That's what it feels like. Might be absolutely true. Just doesn't feel right to me. So the brother only learned about the kidnapping from a friend and said John decided not to file a police report because, so let's see, the brother only learned about the kidnapping from a friend. Okay, who's the friend? Okay, so if that is true, that a friend told you that, then that's different. Okay, but now we kind of need to hear the friend, right? And said John decided not to file a police report because he believed it was in continued danger. He was in continued danger. So what? That's when you file the police report, right? I mean, isn't that when you file the police report? When you feel like you're in continued danger? Yeah, I don't know. Richard said he didn't know who would want to harm his brother. Forsythe's connection to the second vehicle seen on pool surveillance video remains unclear. Let's see where that is. Hold on. Man, we got to get this night crew more like the day crew. Let's see, where do we get the John Forsythe? There it is. And is there a pool in there? It's crazy. Yeah, here's the aquatic. So this is where, that must be the pool inside there. Right? I think that's actually the pool right there. People would slide down. This is just empty of water. I bet you if I went to a different date, there'll be water in that. There you go. Boom. Water. So there's the pool there. Didn't really register in my brain. So from here, I guess probably on that building right over there, is a camera that was filming the parking lot over here. Let's not do all the stuff like maybe he sold drugs, he did this and that and the other thing. Who the hell knows what he was doing? It's just, right now he's missing. There's some really weird stuff being told out there. Doesn't really sound right. You know, there's all this stuff about the crypto and the, you know, stuff that they were doing that the bigwigs didn't like about it. Oh, and also, don't forget, he says that his brother signed over the company to him 2 days prior to him going missing and only found out about it recently. Yeah, it's a community pool, yeah. How did that get like misconstrued somewhere? Police have also not released any information on how Forsythe got from Cassville to Beaver Lake. Right. How did he get there? And where he died. Shannon, it's really weird that somebody showed up, he got into the vehicle, they left, and he walked around for 15 minutes and then apparently left his car there, but he couldn't have left his car. I mean, see, this is why it's confusing, this story. Because look at, this is where apparently a camera is filming the parking lot here, but his car was found over here, like way down in this direction, down this road. So how in the hell did his car get from here down there if all they have is him walking away from the vehicle? It seems like they would have also recorded later somebody else getting into the vehicle and moving it. Unless they're saying that the car was, the camera filmed way over here, and that's what they're considering to be the parking lot. I don't think so. Yeah, we know all about the child support. We've gone over all the stuff. There's nothing new that anybody's going to bring up on this in the chat there. All right. In fact, it's in a lot of these articles. They're just repeating it over and right here. Forsythe had gotten engaged just 3 days before his disappearance, but he was also recently divorced. So 3 days before he, so this is kind of weird. He got engaged 3 days before he disappeared. Then the very next day, can you think of a reason then, he would then sign over his business to his brother, his power of attorney, in case something happened to him. The very next day, after he gets engaged, so something, oh, I'm engaged, yeah, let me, in case something happens, let me sign over my business to my brother the next day. But he was also recently divorced on May 10th. A judge ordered Forsythe to pay his ex-wife, so on the 10th, it's just so weird all this stuff happening in such a short amount of time, but he was ordered to pay his ex-wife, we've already gone over this, $3,999 in child support a month, plus $15,000 a month in alimony. He married and divorced the same woman twice between 1995 and 2022, but both his brother and Ryan Ricketts, the ex-wife's divorce attorney, say the split was amicable. His ex-wife, who lives in Idaho, where he was born, was given custody of the couple's children, though he continued to have a strong relationship with them. His brother and the mother divorce attorney said that. Forsythe has been actively licensed doctor and surgeon in Missouri since July 1st, 2005, after receiving his medical degree from Ross University, based in Barbados. He had been an emergency physician at Mercy Hospital in Cassville for nearly 15 years. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. day again. Yeah, we don't know how he did it, Regina. Could have Ubered. Yeah, I was just saying that. The kidnapping story, as I said a few minutes ago, I don't think it sounds invented to throw police off in a different direction. It just sounds too bizarre. Now, if we could hear from the friend that was told him that, then I might believe it more. You know? This is AP one article here. A doctor in the Missouri Ozarks went missing for over a week until his body was found in an Arkansas lake, but the case remains shrouded in mystery as investigators have released few details to his family or the public. Dr. John Forsythe, 49, was last seen alive on May 21st when security cameras in the parking lot of a public pool in Cassville show him getting into a vehicle after leaving his own car unlocked with his wallet, 2 phones, a laptop, and other items inside. So it was unlocked with all this expensive shit in there. That's according to his brother Richard Forsyth, who said the doctor had texted his new fiancée that morning saying he would see her soon. Thanks, Lisa Murphy. Appreciate it. His car was found later that day. Investigators have said who was driving the other. Let's see. His car was found later that day. Investigators haven't said who was driving the other vehicle. Right. Well, they might not even know yet. But also, who moved his car from the parking lot to where they eventually found it? A search began after the emergency room physician. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of weird to me because it almost feels like somebody came back later after he died and then moved his vehicle to a little further back into the complex. Because his car definitely wasn't in that parking lot. The search began after the emergency room physician didn't show up for his May 21st shift at Mercy Hospital in Cassville. There was no sign of Forsythe until a kayaker noticed his body in Arkansas on May 30th at a spot on Beaver Lake some 20 miles away from his last known location. His body had an apparent gunshot wound, authorities in Arkansas say, although Benton County Coroner Daniel Oxford said an autopsy was completed Thursday. The results won't be released until the investigation is over. His brother, Richard, I've messaged with the brother multiple times. Let's see. His last text to me was, so we were supposed to interview, and then he said he was really busy one day. Said tomorrow will be touch and go, da-da-da-da. Then the last one says, I'm going to have to defer future comments to authorities. Media is going to be reporting what they'll give them. I may speak to a few more major media outlets, but that's yet to be decided. And then he said, my apologies, Gray, and thank you for your offer. Yeah, I mean, we were just about ready. He just had a few minutes one day, but then, you know, I wasn't just sitting there staring at the screen waiting for a reply, so. Anyways, so I don't know if the police talked to him or he talked to somebody, but now it sounds like he's not going to, it's just going to be official comments made. So this could be one of those things where, you know, he was, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate out here. His body had an apparent gunshot wound, authorities in Arkansas say, although Benton County Coroner Daniel Oxford said an autopsy was completed Thursday. Their results won't be released until the investigation is over. His brother, Richard Forsythe, and other, well, okay. You're not going to release it until it's over, but so that makes it seem like they think it's more of a homicide. His brother Richard Forsythe and other family members say John Forsythe was a devoted father to his 8 kids and seemed happier than he'd been in a long time. They say he never missed a day of work and would often sleep in an RV outside the hospital when he was on a call. All right, hold on a second. Alright. My wife is coming in there. His brother, Richard Forsythe, and other family members say John was a devoted father. Yeah, his family rejects any suggestion he took his own life. Okay. Newly engaged, Forsythe was also recently divorced. Again, for the same woman. On May 10th of this year, judge ordered Forsythe to pay his ex-wife $3,999 in child support a month, plus another $15,000 a month for alimony. Missouri court records show he was married and divorced twice to the same woman between 1995 and 2022. Really? How old is he? 49? But he was like 22 when he got married the first time. Missouri court records show he was married and divorced twice to the same woman between 1995 and 2022. Both his brother and Ryan Ricketts, the ex-wife's divorce attorney, say the split was amicable. The pair initially married in Clark County, Nevada. He filed for divorce in April 2019, but the couple remarried in July of 2020 in Greene County, Missouri. I wonder what there was what reasoning that would be. Why would you get divorced and then remarry so fast like that? Court records show that the woman filed a second divorce petition in April 2022 in Lawrence County, Missouri. Authorities have not said whether they believe Forsythe was killed or took his own life. Initially, when Forsythe's empty car was found, investigators said there were no signs of foul play, but that was before the body was found. Shannon Jenkins, spokesperson for the Benton County Sheriff's Department, said Friday that there is no immediate threat to the public, but declined to provide more details. She said no further information would be released until the investigation is completed. It's also unclear what Forsythe's connection might be to the second vehicle seen on pool surveillance video. Authorities have not confirmed any information about the video, including if it was taken before or after Forsythe may have texted his fiancée. There's also no information on how Forsythe got from Cassville to Beaver Lake, when and where he died, or if investigators have found a weapon. Forsythe was born in Idaho in 1974. According to online records, his former wife, who lived in Idaho, was given custody of the couple's minor children, but John Forsythe continued to have a strong relationship with them. Forsythe's ex-wife did not wish to be interviewed. She is just devastated, and I mean just shocked, Ricketts said. She never saw any of this kind of thing coming. Online records for the state of Missouri show that Forsythe was licensed as a doctor's surgeon in the state since July of 2005, and that his license was active. He'd been an emergency physician at Mercy Hospital. He received his medical degree from Ross University. He did have a couple malpractice suits out there. Oh, there it is right there. He was initially named a defendant in a wrongful death case, also in Lawrence County in 2006, but he and another doctor were dismissed from the case before a local hospital settled the case for $100,000. Records show that August 2015 he agreed to a public reprimand from the State Board of Registration for the medical arts for not adequately and completely maintaining records for 2 patients. Well, it makes you wonder who those 2 patients were. Hannah reported from Topeka, Kansas. Okay. Anyways, there you go. That's updates on him. Yeah. So then we got one on in the Daily Mail here on, remember the lady that poisoned her husband? This one's from today, so let's see what's new in here. Jailed grief author. Remember she wrote the child book after she killed her own husband and wrote a book on grief. What a joke. Jailed grief author accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl-laced Moscow Mule is talking to 4 different sets of filmmakers. Can you believe that? As prosecutors urgently, sounds like Jodi Arias, you know, she's just like, yay, this is great. Moscow Mule killer, I think it's Kouri, right? Richins, who is accused of poisoning her husband, is said to be talking to documentary filmmakers from behind bars. Richins, 33, is accused of poisoning her husband, Eric, 39, by slipping him 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl into Moscow Mule in March of 2022. The Summit County District Attorney's Office is now seeking a gagging order in the case of Richins to bar those involved from talking with the media. Prosecutors claim that at least 4 documentary teams in North America and Europe who have expressed interest in making a documentary about the case. They also say that Richins' jail calls indicate she has been communicating with documentary filmmakers directly and through a friend. What the hell's going on here? Prosecutors say the gag order is necessary because of the overwhelming media interest. Richins and her husband had been arguing about her plans to purchase flip a 10-acre, $2 million home in the days before he was found dead at their Utah home last March, according to court documents. Prosecutors say Eric found out that his wife had taken out a $250,000 home equity line of credit and spent it. Withdrawn $100,000 from his bank accounts and spent more than $30,000 on his credit cards. Kouri Richins also stole about $134,000 from her husband's business meant for tax payments. The documents state that she agreed to repay her husband back when he confronted her about the missing money. One day after his death, affidavits for search warrants show that Kouri signed the closing papers on the property and invited friends for a party where she was drinking and celebrating. The mother of 3 later self-published a children's book titled "Are You With Me?" Look at that. That was a pretty, it's like a mansion. Seems kind of cheap for $3 million. I mean, this house here, anywhere like California or something, would be like $10 million. Huh? Looking at lots of cute fashions in his off time. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're referring to. This stuff right here? I don't even know what that is. No idea. Yeah, so. All right, you guys, we're, struggling on the goal tonight with way more people that watch. During the day stream, we have like 70 people watching. But tonight we've got, about almost 300 people, and it's a struggle. Not sure what the deal is, what the difference is on tonight compared to any other show, but here we are. I put it up there so I wouldn't even have to mention it. And now I'm mentioning it. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's still a mansion, right? I mean, who cares if it's furnished or not? You get to put your own stuff in it. Let's see. Well, all right. I just got this. I'll just do the short cold case, and this is from 19. Oh, I got one more thing after this. 1970, and this is a individual named Bertha Louise Burke. 3 persons. Oh, that's not the one. Right here. A reward of $1,000 has been offered for the information leading to the location of Bertha Louise Burke, 29, of 129 East 13th. And hold on, got it right here. Now, there's no more to talk about on that other case, okay? It's just, it is what it is. So this is in, I think it was in, yeah, Canada, up in this small little town called Port Angeles, or Port Angeles, I guess you could call it. So it must have been right there. It looks like that's probably been there. Let's see. So Mrs. Burke, who calls herself Louise Burke, disappeared from her residence at about 1:30 a.m. on the morning of February 20th, leaving her 3 minor children alone. Her maiden name is Cronowert. She is a housewife, but may seek employment as a bank clerk. I mean, who's claiming that she left at 1:30 with just leaving kids behind? But may seek employment as a bank clerk or waitress. She is described as white, 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighs 140 pounds. She has dark brown hair and dark brown eyes, and usually wears glasses when she works. Known to walk extremely straight and tall, Miss Burke does not use much makeup, and her 2 front teeth are usually large. What do you mean usually large? What the hell does that mean? Hey, you're free. You know, I have these teeth that I blow up with I put a little like a tire pump in them and make them bigger and then smaller, but usually I keep them large. Sheriff suspect foul play in case. A $1,000 reward has been offered for information leading to the location of Bertha Louise Burke, who has been missing since February 20th. Miss Burke is 29 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighs 140 pounds. She has dark brown hair, dark brown eyes, does not use much makeup, and her 2 front teeth are usually large. Unusually large. Okay, good. There you go. I was like, my brain didn't see that. See, that's that COVID brain shit. It's unusually large. That's so weird. God, see, that's crazy shit, man. I got so many things like that just lately since I had that. Just stupid, weird crap that my mind just doesn't see, you know, around the house and just things. It's like, whoa. Like, I mean, that best example is what I told you guys, where I put the dates on my COVID test, where it was 7/28, 7/29, 7/30, but that was supposed to be March. But I knew it ended in, you know, July ends in 31 days, but I knew that even though it said 7, that it ended on the 30th. Then I went 5/1, 5/2, then 9/3, and wrote them on there. And for like a week, it just looked normal to me. Never even... Oh, that's weird. But anyways, so she has unusually large teeth. How come that makes so much more sense? What did it say? Did it actually say the exact same thing in this one? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Front teeth are unusually large. I was reading it again the same way. It was weird. That's hilarious. Miss Burke is 29 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighs 140 pounds. She has dark brown hair, dark brown eyes, does not use much makeup, and her 2 front teeth are unusually large. Miss Burke left her home sometime after midnight, February 20th, leaving her 3 children, ages 2, 4, and 6, alone in the house. She was in the process of getting a divorce, which would have gone through last Wednesday. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. All right, and so who would have got the kids and then child support? According to Miss Burke's attorney, her divorce was sought on grounds of cruelty. Oh, well, here we go. Miss Burke has not been seen or heard of since her disappearance. Put quotes around disappearance. We are more or less grasping for straws, said Sheriff Harley Bishop, who took charge of the investigation 3 weeks ago. It seems rather odd that a person would just disappear into thin air, Bishop said. He has indicated that foul play is suspected. So that first article is March, then May, then September. I was just looking at this right here. Divorce decree granted. Douglas Albert Burke. Now he gets his divorce because she went missing. And obviously then he gets the kids now, right? Man, you'd love to talk to some of those kids, how their life was. This is January 31st. A $1,000 reward has again been offered as information leading to the location of Bertha Louise Burke, who disappeared nearly a year ago. The reward offered by family and friends of the missing woman is just a renewed effort in case someone is holding back information. This is the second time in a year that the reward has been offered, Bishop said. It was canceled last June because bounty hunters were interfering with the case, he had. Mrs. Burke left her residence. Well, thank you so much, Bama Forever. Some nights it feels sort of like, whew. Anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So kind. Here we go. We're going to get the cat eye. Yeah, I mean, I do the shows every single night. There's no difference in them. It makes you wonder what makes one night different than another. 2 days in a row, just... Yeah, but thank you so much. Where's the music? Come on, where is it? Oh, right in my face. Bama Forever took it over. Well, no, it's, unusually large.
For all your hard work. Appreciate your continuous dedication, _basic generous.
Well, thank you. That was very kind. This is the second time in a year that a reward has been offered, Bishop said. It was canceled last June because bounty hunters were interfering with the case. Mrs. Burke left her residence at 129 East 13th last February, leaving her 3 children, ages 2, 4, and 6, alone in the house. You think she's just going to leave these kids by herself? 2, 4, and 6? And the husband's not around? Give me a break. Anyone with information about Mrs. Burke's and by the way, how do they know she left at 1:30? Where is this coming from? Anyone with information about Mrs. Burke's whereabouts should contact Clallam County Sheriff's Harley Bishop in the courthouse at 4th and Lincoln Streets. Anyone information about Miss Burke's whereabouts should contact them. I don't know about this was one of those ones that's really obvious. Again, just nothing happens. And city okay likely for dump excavation. The city of Port Angeles would have no objections to a specially trained dog team sniffing out the old city garbage dump in search for the body of a Port Angeles woman who disappeared in 1970, city manager Hal C. Putty said. However, Putty said the city would have to have more evidence that a body is in the dump before granting California private investigator Dave M. West permission to dig up the garbage site. West, who first made the request in July, said in a telephone interview that his search would be for Mrs. Bertha Louise Burke, who left her home at 129 East 13th Street sometime after midnight one Friday in February of 1970. This article is 1974. I mean, man, that's just... Really? You're going to look through an old dump for a body that's... I've been there for 4 years. I mean, I don't know about that. So it says... After midnight, one Friday in February 1970, Mrs. Burke was wife of Douglas A. Burke, a Port Angeles businessman. West, whose California license connects him with Searchers Unlimited, a private investigation firm in Costa Mesa, said in a July letter to the Daily News that he has information that Mrs. Burke's body may be buried in the city trash dump northwest of your city. He said he has been retained by Mrs. Burke's sister to find her whereabouts, but has placed a disclaimer on the $3,000 reward offered for locating the missing woman. The private investigator said he was aware of the problems of excavating the landfill site, but that a specially trained guard dog association near Los Angeles may be able to narrow the digging location. The dog team can be specially trained to sniff out any human remains covered to a depth of 4 feet, West said. The dog team must be trained beforehand by sniffing a piece of the missing woman's clothing, he said. The investigator said he did not know how successful the operation would be. Well, how would you know that? West said he would begin... This is going to be 100% successful, everybody. Give me the dogs and we are going to find... the body. West said he would begin preparations for the operation as soon as he receives written permission from the city of Port Angeles. The case is very much alive, and I'm eager to try the dog team in the garbage dump. West said he had talked with Clallam County Sheriff Harley Bishop about the case in general, but had made no specific reference to searching the dump site. He said he attempted to contact the man in charge of the investigation for the Port Angeles Police Department, but was told he was on vacation. And then that's really all there was in the newspaper. So let's see what the Charlie Project says. This is her right here. Bertha was last seen in her home at the 100 block of East 13th Street in Port Angeles, Washington on February 20th, 1970. She has never been heard from again. She apparently left home sometime after midnight, leaving behind her 3 children aged between 2 and 6 years old. She also left her purse behind. Bertha was in the process of a divorce at the time of her 1970. The reason they're bringing this up because they're suspicious too. Disappearance and was seeing another man. Oh boy. Police have named her husband, Douglas A. Burke, as a person of interest in the disappearance. They had married in 1958. She was seeking the divorce on grounds of cruelty. In 2003, 33-year-old Bertha 33 years after Bertha disappeared, investigators searched for her body with ground-penetrating radar and cadaver dogs. they concentrated on the driveway of her former home and a parking lot behind Douglas' former place of work at East 8th Street. Tests indicated that something was buried underneath a concrete slab, but then authorities dug underneath it. They found no evidence. Nothing was located during the search, and investigators do not plan to search further. Foul play is suspected in Bertha's disappearance. Douglas remarried after her disappearance and then died in 2008. In his obituary, Bertha was said to have died in February 1970, the month she disappeared. Ah, really? In his obituary, Bertha was said to have died in February of 1970. So you're admitting that you know she died, right? The month she disappeared, her case is unsolved. Huh. That's pretty weird. Okay. Now, remember the other day that crazy case with the parents and the children living inside the house that was just like really disgusting or something? Thank you, Mickey Duff and classical guitarist. Might be able to make a night of this yet. Not too far away now. Not too far away.
Hey all.
Yeah, so now let's read the document here. It's probably pretty similar to what was said in the news, but let's just read it. It's not really long either, so here's the affidavit of probable cause. Your affiant, Richard Dean, is a member of the Penridge Regional Police Department. Okay, so on April 23rd, at approximately 1:18, the Penridge Regional Police Department was dispatched to 675 Roseanne Lane in, let's see, I think we already had this, right? Let me just make sure. 675 Roseanne Lane. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Rock Hill Township. Wait, wasn't this the place right here? Yeah, it was sort of back. You couldn't see it because it was back here. There it is, Roseanne Lane. Okay. Yeah, so it was back here in there. Let's see. The complainant advised police radio that juveniles were inside the, let's see. What does it say right here? Township. The complainant advised police radio that juveniles were inside the above location, which the complainant believed was abandoned, and the juveniles were removing items from it. So somebody called and said, "Oh yeah, there's these kids moving items from an abandoned house." Officers Winfelder and Rosenfeld responded to the area to investigate. Upon their arrival, they found 12-year-old juvenile female, known as JV3, in the front yard of 655 Roseanne Lane, directly next door to 675 Roseanne Lane. JV3 began speaking to officers by explaining that her parents told them not to go over to the abandoned trailer and her parents should not be held responsible. JV3 continued by stating she was only taking a blanket to keep her rats warm because her family does not have much money left. At first contact, JV3 was barefoot with the hood of her sweatshirt up over her head and told officers she has social anxiety. Is that what she was told to tell anybody who tried to talk to her? I mean, These kids have no education at all. How are they even going to know a term called social anxiety? A few moments later, the second juvenile female, JV2, emerged from the rear of the property and advised that she was 14 years old. JV2 was wearing large work boots, large work boots too big for her feet, and had on clothing that appeared dirty. JV3 and JV2 admitted several times to entering the property at 675 Roseanne Lane while officers waited for their parents to arrive, stating again that they do not have very much money. About 25 minutes after Officer Rosenfeld spoke with the juvenile's father over the phone, he and his wife returned home. They identified themselves as Shane Robertson and Crystal Robertson. Mother and, let's see what these guys, I forgot they look like. Shane and Crystal Robertson. Yeah, these two wackos right here. Remember these guys? Yeah. Awesome. JV2 and JV3. Officers advised of their concern for the health of JV2 and JV3 based on their appearance and requested to see the living arrangements. Shane Robertson granted the request and began unlocking the front door while Crystal Robertson stated that they were going through so much food that she had to put a lock on the refrigerator because they were stealing everything, and referred to the children as garbage disposals with legs. I mean, these two parents, not only are they just total morons, but some of the sickest people I've ever heard. Upon entry into the trailer, officers found the refrigerator to be locked shut with a bicycle lock. Could you imagine ever even thinking of doing that? Well, I know food's kind of expensive, but would you put a padlock on your door? If your kids are hungry, they get to eat food. Do you get it? I mean, look at you guys. You hadn't missed a meal. I'm looking at the parents here. They hadn't missed a meal in a long time. But the kids, well, forget it. Shane Robertson responded out, upon entering into the trailer, officers found the refrigerator to be locked shut with bicycle lock. The interior of the trailer was also in obvious despair and disarray. Shane Robertson responded out to his vehicle to retrieve Crystal's purse, which was where the key to the lock was located. Officer Rosenfeld used the key to open the refrigerator to find very little food inside. Around this time, Officer Winfelder inquired about how many children lived in the residence. Shane Robertson said he had one other daughter. Shane Robertson requested his 16-year-old daughter, henceforth as JV1, exit a rear bedroom and meet with officers in the living room. JV1 also appeared unkempt and stated she was aware that officers were outside but was watching the youngest child at the time. Officers left the home and filed a child line report in accordance with Pennsylvania Act 31. At 5 o'clock on the same date, officers were requested to return to 655. So I guess they just left. It's weird. Roseanne Lane, after Madeline Strauss of Bucks County Children and Youth had discovered more children being hidden in a rear bedroom of the home during her visit. So they only told the officer that they had one daughter who was taking care of another one, but there was a whole bunch of other kids in there. When officers arrived, they met with Shane Robertson outside of the home, who advised he had 7 children and did not tell officers this earlier because he did not want to get in any trouble. Officers entered the home with Strauss and found a 10-year-old female, henceforth known as JV4, an 8-year-old female, henceforth JV5, a 6-year-old male, known as JV6, and let's see, JV6, and a 4-year-old female known as JV7, all inside the home. Based on their appearance, it was decided that all 7 children should be transported to Grandview Hospital for evaluation. Your affiant arrived around 7 o'clock and met with officers and Crystal Robertson at 655 Roseanne Lane. Your affiant photographed the entire home to include 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living area, and 1 bathroom with the lower half of the door completely missing. I wonder if somebody tried to break out of it. The room that Shane and Crystal slept in had a bed in the middle of the room with several animal cages surrounding it. The sheets on the bed did not appear to have been washed in several weeks or months. On the floor were items of garbage, and the walls had holes in them. The back bedroom, adjacent to Shane and Crystal's bedroom, was blocked off with a broken washing machine. This room did not have a door and was cluttered with dirty clothing and garbage on the floor. This room was also missing sheetrock on the walls and was in need of repair. The third bedroom had feces on the floor in front of the entrance. A filthy mattress lay in the center of the room with a dirty blanket on it. Your affiant found feces on the blanket as well while photographing this room. This room also housed approximately 24 rats that were located in 2 different cages. The bathroom was also in need of repair. The piping underneath the sink was heavily corroded. The exhaust fan was caked in dust, and no cleaning products were located for sanitation. The bathroom also did not have soap, toothpaste, or any other hygienic products for the occupants of the home. Your affiant noted a similar situation with the kitchen. The cabinets were in very bad shape, and the oven appeared as if it had never been cleaned. The only notable food located in the home was for the animals. The floors were all bare plywood that would sink down in certain areas so far that you could see the dirt below the trailer. Crystal Robertson advised that the new piece of plywood in front of her bedroom door had been placed there after she fell through the floor a few months prior. The walls and floors of this home were either destroyed or disintegrating, and there was very little lighting in the home. There was also a bad odor in the home and several bugs. Your affiant noted 2 dogs, 2 turtles, 2 rabbits, snakes, toads, and a 4-foot reptile known as Tigu inside the home, along with the approximately 24 rats. While your affiant was investigating the home at 655 Roseanne Lane, each child was individually examined at Grandview Hospital. It was determined at that time that all the children except JV2 were clinically malnourished. JV5 and JV7 tested positive for COVID-19. JV1 and JV7 had low kidney function. JV2 and JV3 and JV5 had fevers and were diagnosed with acute viral syndrome. Just like, man, it's just unbelievable. Based on those examinations and diagnosis, Bucks County Children and Youth took custody of all 7 children, or 7 juveniles. Shane and Crystal Robertson were notified that their children were being placed in foster care at that time. Over the next week, it was learned that none of the 7 children had had any formal education. So these guys they're just like, how would human beings grow up with no education, but they interact with brothers and sisters and that's it? And all lacked basic knowledge. Some of the children did not know their own birth dates. 4 of the children suffer from speech impediments, because they don't even know what they're saying. All of the children struggle with reading, writing, and spelling. They all exhibited social anxiety and disclosed that they did not like being in public or around other people. JV3, JV4, JV6, and JV7 were all referred to as to a nutritionist by CHOP due to being clinically underweight. During a dental checkup on JV6, it was found that he had several teeth requiring intervention and a dangerous abscess in his mouth. JV6 had 13 visible cavities and required, these kids probably never brushed their teeth their entire lives. Cavities and required 5 extractions and 6 crowns. JV5 also requires 5 extractions and 5 crowns along with additional fillings. CHOP ophthalmology diagnosed JV1, JV2, JV3, and JV5 with poor eyesight and is in the process of providing JV1 and JV2 with glasses. JV3 and JV5 have appointments for corrective eyewear approximately 1 week after the removal from 655 Roseanne Lane. JV3 was found to have maggots in her hair. So 1 week after the removal, she had maggots in her hair. How did that happen? Approximately 1 week after the removal from 655 Roseanne Lane, JV3 was found to have maggots in her hair. Well, where did you put her? Did you not clean her hair at when whoever took care of her after that? She had maggots. I mean, did you give her a shower? Or I don't understand how you'd have maggots in your hair a week later after you've given them to somebody. Does anybody understand that part? Can anybody explain that to me? Approximately 1 week after the removal of 655 Roseanne Lane, JV3 was found to have maggots in her hair. It was learned that last summer JV3 suffered sunburn to her scalp and neck and could not brush her hair due to pain. JV3 eventually could not brush or wash her hair due to the tangling and it became matted. Upon discovery of the maggots, JV3 had most of the hair shaved from her head since the damage and infestation was so dire. So they shaved her head. Another child had to have most of her hair shaved off due to it being similarly matted. JV7 was ultimately diagnosed with ringworm. The youngest children, JV6 and JV7, ringworm is like a fungus, I don't know what you call it, fungus maybe on your, kind of like having athlete's foot on your body, I think. And it makes sort of a circle. JV7 was ultimately diagnosed with ringworm. The youngest children, JV6 and JV7, each gained 2 pounds their first week in foster care. Jeez, that's crazy. Your Honor, based on the facts and circumstances listed above, your affiant respectfully requests Crystal Robertson be charged with 6 counts of endangering the welfare of child, felony 3 for JV1, JV2, JV3, JV4, JV5, and JV6, and 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child, felony 2 for JV7, since she is under the age of 6. I think it should be like attempted murder. I mean, what do you these kids were probably going to end up dying in there. They had really dangerous things going on. Anyways, that's it. So you see how they're right up there with the Hart family. I think they're worse than the Hart family, except the Hart family drove them all off of a cliff in a van. But they live in a clean environment, anyways. And they're right there with the Turpins, though. Very similar to the Turpins. And again, see, no schooling. Man, that is interesting. It does make you rethink it all. Like, there's no way you should ever get rid of homeschooling, but there's got to be a way that there's got to be a way that I'm just looking at my wife. She's looking at me way over there, and I don't know what she's looking at me for. Oh, it seems like if your kids are homeschooled, there's got to be a checkup by the state to make sure on a reasonable basis and one-on-one meetings with each kid. Then you go back and they can go back and do what they're doing. But they got to be tested. I think they need, the state needs to come by and just make sure. I know it sucks, though. That's about the only way to avoid this stuff. I mean, that ruins it for everybody. But, you go by and you just see, like, okay, can you do basic math at this age? Can you read at this age? Can you do this? Great. And if you can't, then you can't be a teacher of your kids at home. Can everybody just sort of agree with that, like, there should be just some basic standard that you go over to somebody's house. Let's say you're homeschooling your kids and they're 7 years old. Well, 7 years old, somebody goes over there, it's just sort of a professional, and says, hey, we just need to make sure that they can read and write, and they're at least at this certain level. And if they're not, they're pretty good, but you don't take them out, make sure. But if they're just completely lacking any knowledge at all, you can't allow those parents to keep teaching those kids. That's just the truth. And then it also gives an opportunity for the kids to, you just talk. How's everything going? Oh yeah, it's going great. This is awesome. But it might be a situation where there might be a kid, except that brings up the possibility that some kid might say something because they're angry, and then it puts all the other children in jeopardy from being taken. I don't know. It has to be something a little less government, but another party, like a non-affiliated third party, but it's required for them to go in and do a certificate that you can send in or something. I don't know. But, when you go straight to the state, it's not good. Yeah, when the state just jumps in, they start making decisions oftentimes that are not in the best interest of anybody. So, all right. Well, that's all I got for the actual stories parts of the show. I mean, I have that really long one, but based on how tonight's going, I'll probably hold that off for another one. But maybe we can try doing, if you guys want to do. Let's see. I don't know. How would we do this? Maybe I should do. We could do the newspaper.com to help out up in here if you want to do that. But Zozo can't play. Since she never actually plays anyway, she just types in the things. What is it? Right, but if you homeschool, though, you got to make sure you're doing everything where they're getting just as good or better of an education than kids are in school. So I think there should be a point where, what do you do in your situation, Nikki? Does anybody ever check in on them to see that they got all the required skills for certain ages? Can they read, do math, all that shit? I mean, I'm not asking you if your kids can, but I'm saying, do they check on that stuff? This thing, I gotta write something. What do you guys want to do now? We could try doing the super chat newspapers.com game where, you know, we actually found a cool case out of that one time. And what you have to do is you try to come up with wording specifically, you know, like headless body found, or, you know, something like that, and pick an area. But what we don't do is where you do it where you have a case that you already know of and you're trying to get me to find that one. Okay, that sucks. This is just sort of a random search. Sometimes we come up with last time was one of our best ones we ever had. I think there was 2 actual cases that I looked up. Let's see, I don't agree with some big things that is teaching kids right now. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Nikki Zibs. Oh, thanks, Sonia. Appreciate it. Very kind, very kind. Just wanted to send a little thank you. Well, thank you. Getting an actual yeah, I mean, you know what schools have quit doing? They've quit teaching kids actual meaningful things. It's weird. I don't even know how we're still creating scientists and so forth. It's weird. Yeah. They didn't learn how to write cursive anymore. Yeah. I don't mind that as much. It's easier to read when you don't have cursive, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's only for super chats. That's how this game is right here. So help on the slower nights. It helps sort of build up, but try to get to a reasonable level. That's what it's a newspapers.com. I mean, you know what's amazing, everybody? The super chat itself is invented so that the person doing the show sees it and then can read what you wrote or answer a question, something like that. That's what they're for. Okay? But a lot of times, you know, the super thanks and all these things sort of took over for that. So is anybody interested in doing that? Because if not, we'll just do something else. I can go watch a movie or something. Yeah, so you have newspapers.com up here like this, right? And here we go. The words go right there. What do you want to find? It's up to you guys. Here you go. Here. Dobby Smith said yes, and I'm going to type in the word yes, and wow, look at all the articles with yes in it. Thank you. Hey, Dobby, type right below what's a search term that you would have, if you were looking up some crazy case, unsolved, it could just be an unsolved murder or serial killer, something like that, but don't be goofy with it. That's the part that doesn't work. When you start trying to get too goofy and get the laughs in the chat, that's when it's not as effective at working. I could literally think through it. Thank you, Jessica Schuba. Let's see what Jessica's is. Well, let me see if Dobby typed something in. Yeah, let's see it. Body found in high school gym locker. Okay.
Body found in high school gym locker room, anywhere USA.
How about just school? Body found in high school locker room. I mean, there isn't really another. You don't have to say gym in there. Watch, the first thing that comes up and it says All right, let's see. Now look at that. Girl's body found in high school locker room. Jesus, right out of the chute. 1997. Police asked for the public's help yesterday in solving the mysterious slaying of a 16-year-old girl found dead in a high school boys' locker room. A janitor, see how it doesn't say Jim in there? A janitor found the body of Cumberland Regional High School sophomore Nilsa Mason, a member of the track team, was found at about 9 p.m. Monday in a shower area. Mason and Bridgetown had been stabbed in the neck. Authorities would not say whether she had been sexually assaulted, but the body was clothed when found. Well, let's see what happened. What's her name? Nilsa Mason. Oops, that's not it. That's not right either. Jesus. Yeah, there it is. A New Jersey Appellate Division Court was upheld a guilty verdict against Peter R. Henriques of the April 1997 killing of his girlfriend at Cumberland Regional High School. So there you go.
Body found on golf course.
Wow. Well, hey, look at that. You got one right on. You nailed it there, Jessica. Let me just see how prevalent this is. These are all like at the 90. These are all the same. I'm gonna change the year though to 1950 to 1996. That way it'll void the 1997 one. What's this one? 1969. Oh, well. I think basically you have to do body found. Yeah, actually, all you have to do is say in locker room. I mean, because that already implies a school, usually. Maybe not. Woman's body found in locker room. Well, here's one right here from 1950. The body of a woman neatly... I like this. I like the idea there, Jessica. It's sort of leading to... Yesterday, crammed in 2 cheap suitcases, and let's see, a slim woman, neatly sliced into 4 parts. What the hell? Was found yesterday. We're gonna have to move this one off to the side. Crammed into 2 cheap suitcases and checked in a busy public locker room in Brooklyn. A preliminary autopsy showed no marks of violence on the body beyond the actual butchery. Authorities said the woman may have been poisoned or strangled. A head, torso, and arms, all connected, were found in a black imitation leather suitcase in locker 216 of the Long Island Railroad Brooklyn Station. Okay, well, yeah, definitely going to have to throw that into a folder over here. So, hold on. Alright, got that one. Now I'm going to move down to the other one. So did Lisa... Well, that wasn't... Did Dobby ever come in with a... Oh, okay. I'll pick these up. Body found on golf course. Oh, we did a case like that, didn't we? There's probably a lot of these. That's near... How about I'll make sure that it has to have on in there. That still says near. Here's one. 1997 again, man. What's going on in 97, huh? A body found near a golf course was that of a Springfield man who had been shot, a coroner said. A couple looking for golf balls found the decomposed body Sunday night off the 18th fairway of Snyder Park Golf Course. The coroner did not know when Richards died. A message left at the Springfield Police Department was not immediately returned, I guess. There's another one. Body found on golf course was teenage girl. RCMP, so this must be up in Canada then, right? Say they have identified the body found on a golf course west of Edmonton. Remember there was a case we did a couple of years ago with that girl that was killed at the golf course. She was a good golfer too. And this weirdo that was living around there killed her. It was crazy. On a golf course west of Edmonton earlier this week as a 14 or 15-year-old girl, but they don't know who she was or whether her death is linked to the slaying of nearly a dozen sex trade workers. She was described as native or Hispanic, 5'3", 110, with shoulder-length black hair and brown eyes. So this is one that they haven't identified. Maybe I'll throw that over here. Uh-oh. Am I frozen? Can you guys still hear me? Everything's like locked up over here. Oh, there we go. Now I gotta go up to Lisa Val. Okay, so Lisa Valenzuela said body found in golf course. And then body in car at drive-in movie theater. Let's see. Thanks, Eugenie.
Body in car at drive-in movie theater.
Theater eater caters to car-dependent LA. That's probably not going to be it. Let me think of it differently. Dead. Wow, Juju Positive. Thank you. I don't think I've ever seen that number before. I mean, you guys are... I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's a random one. Hey, we're right where we were last night now. How crazy is that?
Let's see if it works this time.
It did. What happened? What's going on, you guys? And look at that, there's Melanie the Felony. Anyways, thank you guys. You know, I appreciate it. It's pretty amazing when the some nights I always feel so lucky, you know, like a few people make such a massive difference that it's like, oh man, we did it, you know. Thank you so much. All right, got it in there. Good day, great. Let me go back up there. So body in car. Well, thank you very much, Melanie Felony and Juju Positive. Melanie Felony, Juju Positive. There's got to be raps out there that we could make with the names of people. What do you think? Oh, and there's Brown Eyed Girl. Wow. Well, thank you.
Good day. Great.
You know, the weird part is sometimes I even email some of the people, like sometimes people that send me the bigger super chats often, sometimes I feel like I feel I need to say, like, you know, thank you, you know, so much, but you know, like there's nights where we're not doing well, and then like people come in for the rescue, like, and it's like, oh man, but I feel bad, like I feel sort of I don't know. I wish it was just sort of more of a massive democratic thing where you had 350 people watching, and everybody sent in $1 and called it a night, you know? It would just be so cool, you know? I mean, it'd be kind of neat if YouTube actually worked like that, where you had to buy a ticket for $1 to go watch it or something. And it'd just be so simple to do, you know? And, or 50 cents or whatever the hell you wanted to set it at. And it would be such a cool thing. Then you would just easily be able to do it. Like, what if they did something where it was a quarter to be able to watch somebody's show? I mean, it's like, who cares? Like you went and bought candy at a... Okay, alright, Bama, forever. I do though sometimes, I gotta admit. Like, I just feel... Thank you, Nikki Zubs. And Jiggy England. I do hope you guys see that we're totally different here, though. Like, every single thing that we talked about tonight, other than a couple of those updates, you probably wouldn't hear anywhere else, right? Because they don't, it just doesn't matter to them. And we also do so much good. Like last month was right back to one of those great months where my channel, from the income, I was able to give $6,000 away. But that's because of you guys. See, that's the thing, is we do this every single night, and that's the only way to make it happen.
Multiple bodies found in suitcases linked.
Multiple bodies. Yeah, I saw that story. I don't like doing stories like that. The people behind that story isn't one of the ones I like doing. I think it's all. I think we all know who's behind those, right? Nikki Zubs, you know, the organizations, you know. All right. Anyway, so what? Well, I gotta go back. I gotta go back up to Eugenie's, because I was still body in car in drive-in theater. So let's see. How about like woman's body found in drive-in? Now that might be a restaurant or something. Yeah, a drive-in with a dash, right? It was behind a movie theater, 1988. What's this one? Oh, there we go. Was that a woman's body found at drive-in lot? The body of a black woman between 25 and 30 years of age was found on the grounds of a closed drive-in movie lot at 5363 North 3rd Street on Saturday. So there's one right there, 1991. What the hell is that? Looks like a fish that was cut in half. Texas woman's body found after 17 days. That's different. 41. Had been missing since April 18th when her parents, Mrs. Kavanaugh, 75, were drowned in their submerged car. Alright, well, there was one there. Didn't have a lot of information on it. Eugenie. Yep, we knew that, Dobby. Yep. We actually covered the trial on this channel, the entire trial. However, the doxing thing, I do not. I appreciate what you do. However, the doxing thing, I do not do anything from fear. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Patches. Who does doxing? Who are you talking about? Nobody knows what that means. I do not do anything from fear. Does anybody know what that means? And my name is Gray. You know, you'd hope if you were a channel member, at least you'd be able to say Gray. I don't know. I don't even know what it means. Gray, I appreciate what you do. However, so however means you're reversing what you said, right? Like, I appreciate what you do, however, this doxing thing. It almost makes it seem like you're talking about me. What doxing? I mean, I did have one time where a couple times when I was doing the wheel spin, where it popped up somebody's address on the screen, but it's, you know, it's some stupid flaw that OBS Studio had. So now I've eliminated that by not connecting it to OBS. If that's what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't identify anybody by sending super chats. Doesn't identify anybody. It just shows up on the screen like your name right now. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, Google's really secure. They're probably the most secure company you're ever going to find for that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right, let's see. Doxing is when somebody intentionally puts out somebody's private information to cause harm. You know, I mean, people on social media never use it correctly. They think, you know, no matter what happens, it's just doxing, and that's bullshit. Okay, it's not true. So let's see if we had. Let's just look it up. How about we type in what doxing means? It says right here, according to the International Encyclopedia, it says of gender media. I'll read a different one. How about that? What does that even mean? It says in that one, though, it does say doxing is an intentional revelation of a person's private information online without their consent, often with malicious intent. That's a pretty good definition of it. Okay? And in Wikipedia it says doxing is the act of publicly providing personally identifiable information about an individual or organization, usually via the internet. Historically, the term has been used interchangeably to refer to both integration of this information from public databases and social media websites, as well as public and private. Let's see. The aggregation of it's too legalese to read it. I can't even. Whoa! Look at the dogs over there. Chloe's going nuts again. Look at her. Look at her. Oh yeah. Look at that. See how she tries to like hug him and stuff like that? Look at that right there. Isn't that weird? What's she doing right there? It's so crazy, that little move that she does there. Not a lot of light over there, so it's kind of blurry. It's actually pretty dark. It looks really bright, but it's dark over there. That's so hilarious. Look at it. Like, she just sits there and waits. Bites him in the arm, bites him in the arm, bites him in the arm. I think he likes it, though. Like today, I was outside throwing a toy to him, and he would catch it, and then he would run over to and put the toy on Chloe's head and bounce it up and down, but she wasn't having any of it. She wouldn't play with him. Yeah. So it says, what is doxing in U.S. News and World Report? To dox someone means to release their personal or private information that may prove harmful or embarrassing. And, you know, it's like, you know, if somebody accidentally, you're actually trying to give away, like I've done it accidentally on the spin for the prize. Like an address comes up from a PayPal inside of my email. And, you know, there's no intent there or anything malicious at all. So when you get people, you know, they respond where it's just like so dramatic. Does Chloe even look like a dog at that point? She looks like a mop head, like something that you look at her. Chloe. Oh, yeah. Chloe. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any things to look up? And now that let's see. I don't know if did I miss anybody that typed them in? How about we'll just open it up now? Anybody can just type something in, even the weird ones. Oh, you got one? Okay, type it in. Hey, Juju Positive, that's like a really specific story, right? That's one that's like you know that one. I want to do ones where you've never thought of it, you're just thinking of something weird to come up with. Right. So I'm looking for one. I don't want anybody to even know a case that they're talking about. Bodies are missing a cemetery? Oh. Well, thanks, Bama Forever, for your reply there. That was very kind. Let's see. But what do you mean? So bodies are missing from a cemetery? You mean, KK, or what? What are you getting at there? Like, bodies are missing from cemetery. I don't know if I spelled that right. But is that even right? Yeah, I guess it is. Now there's one. 1,200 bodies missing from flooded cemetery. That's not good. Wow. Are you kidding me? How did that work? How did that even get resolved here? Still missing 1,200 bodies, more or less, from flood-wrecked 40 Fort Cemetery. It's a tragedy, said Harry B. Shuley, Jr., but for still shocked residents who live near the Susquehanna River, many miles from the 195-year-old burial ground in northeastern Pennsylvania, it's a horror to find parts of bodies 12 weeks after the flooding caused by Tropical Storm Agnes. What the hell? Holy crap. This is in Louisiana. Yeah. The river came roaring over the steel piling like ocean waves and began to lift the grass and dirt and knock down the tombstones like matchsticks, recalled cemetery caretaker John Novak. It was frightful. I saw vaults and caskets popping out of the ground. This is almost like the movie Poltergeist. Right? Hey, come up with another one, Juju Positive. Right, but yeah, you just have to, you don't need to, this is just random now. It's not, you don't even have anything thought of a case that you're looking for, as I stated at the beginning. When you come up with the idea, it's just keywords like, I wonder if there's a case where a woman found, arms missing, or whatever the hell you want to type in, and then we just look and see what it comes up with. It's not that you have a case and you want to see if I'll find it by coming up with the keywords that you have. That's how it works. Does that make sense? Shuley, a bank trust officer in nearby Wilkes Barre, said 2,000 bodies at least and maybe 2,500 were washed away, and we have recovered only 1,000 of them. Oh my God, that's insane. Major Ernst Bascom said cleanup crews hired by the Army engineers found bodies, caskets, and gravestones. Hey, good night. Bama forever. So, Juju Positive, come up with another one. Just a random search that has no meaning at all other than you're just trying to find something. Huh. Well, yeah. I mean, that's just a ridiculous story right there. I mean, what did they do to recover those things? Nikki Zubs said, wait, man, you guys are typing them in so fast now, I can't even find which one to. Relani Jones said, can anyone see my messages? Nope. None of us can see them. But you're not a member, though. I thought you were a member before. Maybe something happened there. Body found in ventilation ducts. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's Jiggy. Okay. Body found. Let me get on here. And I'm going to put quotes around it. And if it doesn't come up, then it doesn't come up. So that means it has to be right like none. That means in the entire newspaper it doesn't exist. Of all the collections of newspapers. Although you can't see anything. Because I'm still on that crazy screen. Yeah, right there. Body found in ventilation ducts. How about body found in air ducts? I think that has a way better chance of happening. There you go. There you go. Boom. As a matter of fact, right out of the chute, 1979, body found in air duct. The body of a Welland man was found in an air duct at a Zeller's Ltd. Department store Saturday after a customer noticed blood dripping from a vent in the store. Police said it's believed Robert William Doerr, 28, took a panel off the heating duct on the roof and entered the duct where he became stuck. The attempted break-in occurred late Friday night. An autopsy on Sunday showed that Doerr died of asphyxiation. Niagara Regional Police refused to comment further on his injuries. Well, there you go. You know, there's a whole bunch of these stories. Dead body in air duct elementary school. The body of a look at that. I don't think that's a legitimate picture. There aren't 9,000-pound wild boars. I've seen that before, though. The body of a man who apparently tried to break into an elementary school was discovered Friday in an air conditioning duct on the school's roof, police said. The body of Sierra Vista Elementary School was found as a plumber investigated a foul odor noticed by cafeteria staff earlier in the day, said Roosevelt School District Superintendent Mark Dowling. Authorities think the man tried to climb through the duct, got stuck, and died. Hey, I guess that's the moral of the story is don't break into schools. Authorities were working Tuesday to determine the identity of a teenage boy whose body was discovered in the air duct at a downtown department store Monday. The boy, who was between 18 and 20 years of age, died of heat exposure after he got stuck in the air duct at Levine. Oh man, that's crazy. So, see, there's a ton of these. I mean, look at that. See, that's why I'm saying the wording is so important. You know? So, you just got to come up with the common way people say things. What's this one right here? Deep in the bowels of the Metropolitan Opera House, past the giant Kangal painting and the crystal chandelier, someone tossed the bound nude body of a blonde violinist down an air shaft as a Berlin ballet danced on the main stage. Is this a movie or what the hell is this? Maybe it's a movie. I think that might be what this is. This can't be real. Well, it does say an autopsy was scheduled today to determine what caused the death of the 30-year-old professional musician, whose body apparently was dropped 60 feet from the opening of a rooftop air duct to a protruding beam below. Police said there were no apparent wounds on the body. Well, where the hell did this come from? Well, I'm going to have to store that one. Let's see what happened. That's a weird one there. Who knew? Let's see. I'm looking. Did Juju Positive ever come back with their... I gotta make sure she gets her question in there. I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, Mom left. That's still there, though, that one. Where's the next one? I don't know the details. What's the next? Is there another one? I don't know. I don't see it. It never occurred to me to go into an air duct. I wonder if it'll pop up to... I mean, the one that she typed in was Mom left 2 and 4-year-old car to shoplift in a mall and the car catches fire. Really? That's kind of a messed up story, though. Yeah, it's not in there. And then it's year. No. Don't see it. Don't see it. I tried. The ballet was the idiot. Daryl Montgomery. See, if that shows up as a story in a Canadian town, then you didn't play it right. Okay? But most of these would be cowboy stories from like 18 something. Yeah. I can't. Can you imagine waking up to have your breakfast and a cup of coffee and reading this? This shit right here would take you. This would take you a month just to get through the first page. Not me, Gray. I'm a speed reader. Oh, what happened today? Oh, I didn't realize that. So she went into... Well, let me go look that up. Oh, shit, I lost it. God. Oh, there you go. Oh, that was what was on the screen playing off to the side there. Remember that? I was wondering what the hell that was off to the side on some other... So here it is. Here it is. A 24-year-old Florida woman is facing criminal charges after she allegedly left 2 children in a car that caught fire while she was shoplifting at a mall. Alicia Moore, who was arrested for unrelated warrant, was charged with aggravated child abuse and arson. Moore parked her car in the parking lot of Dillard's at Oviedo Mall, leaving the children inside the car. Moore was then observed inside the Dillard's with another male and began to shoplift items, according to police. The 2 were watched by security for an hour, police said. Moore then began to exit Dillard with about an hour later, only to see her vehicle engulfed in flames. She then dropped the merchandise before exiting the store, according to police report. Citizens who saw the vehicle engulfed in flames helped the children escape. Okay, that's good. The children were rushed to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital for medical attention and suffered first-degree burns from the fire. The third degree are the really bad ones, though, right? Yeah. The vehicle was totaled in the incident according... What is it, first? Now I don't remember now. Yes, first degree burns are not as bad. I think. God. My brain is just not... it's weird. While in custody, the child neglect and arson charges were added. She faces $15,000 bond. That's it? See that right there is what angers me. What the hell is this? $15,000 bond for leaving your kids in the car. First of all, they could have died from, a hot car death, for example. And then the car catches on fire and almost kills them all, and they're going to, you're fine. And you're in the store stealing things. That's ridiculous. Okay. Mother of the year right there, yep. The kids left in a car. Lady Lactuca said, I can't type. I'm done. LOL. Hey, I'm worse. Right? Anybody have any thoughts or questions out there? Randomly? Anybody want to know anything about me? Specifically? We haven't gone through the emojis in a while. I was actually thinking of doing it where I can go like this, right? Then I enter that in, then I click on this, and then it makes it, you can kind of see it there. I wonder if I went like this. Then I can take a copy of this, zoom in just on that portion right there that kind of blurry, but you got the picture there. Hey, look at that. See, it works. Yeah, the Oogla Boogla one. I can't stay, no. I think most of you guys know all the emojis anyway. Don't really need to do it. Thank you, Texas Annie. Look at that. Bring back Oogla Boogla. How did day 3 of Garage Project go? Was it only day 3? It seemed like it was like 5 or something, but that was pretty good. Yeah, they. I should have taken photos and you can watch it, but I let's see, the garage right now has no wall, like all the walls are ripped off, except, the the wood that's already there, but all the drywall's been moved out. The cement, they cut a hole in the cement floor and had to drill, and then dug into the dirt below it, and then drilled a hole through the cement of the house foundation to put pipes in for the sink, toilet, and shower. So those are sitting there, sticking out of the ground, and then they have to wait for an inspector to come out and check that out before they can continue. And then the water heater has been raised off the ground. One thing I didn't know this before. I think most people don't know this. Here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do. Yeah, some of the walls are gonna have better insulation back where I am, but there has to be a window there too. So I don't know. It just is what it is. I just want to have my own little place, so that the living room is a living room again, or ever. We've never had a living room. And, we can have couch and something and just do something. It's like it's so shitty currently, the way it's set up. And it'll just be really nice to have a living room to enjoy as a living room. And then have another bathroom in the house, because we've only had one. I don't know, it's going to be pretty cool, I think. I think it'll alleviate a lot of stress. It'll just be like, thank you. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, you know what's something that most people don't realize? When you're doing a remodel of some sort, like what I'm doing, they do a lot of this construction inside that has nothing to do with what you're doing. I don't know if I told you guys this last night, or who I was talking to about it. Maybe it was on the earlier stream. I don't really even remember now. But they do stuff where it's like, right now, they built a platform to put the water heater on. Really sturdy thing. It looks great. There's this platform, water heater sitting on it. And because they're raising the floor, my floor in the garage is being raised, I think, 9 inches. And the floor actually slopes up, so they're going to use shimmies and stuff to make sure everything's level, blah, 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 blah. But they build these things to get out of the way to be able to keep doing stuff. So they built this platform to hold the water heater while they build the floor, and then eventually when the floor is all finished, they'll put the water heater back down on the floor where it's supposed to be. And all these other things that are kind of similar to that they do, like for example, there's a door that they raised 9 inches. So now, and then they put it like an extension on the bottom of the door, because eventually that floor has to be raised, and then they'll take off the extension, and then that'll swing open. But then the whole door will be changed at some point, but they just want the door to be there for us currently. And then there's anyways, I didn't realize all the other side stuff was going on. I don't know what I was thinking, but it just is what it is, I guess. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. I mean, I've tried to save up for like 5 years or so. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. And, finally, okay, let's just see if we can do this. Because it's cement floor in the garage. That's why it got to be raised. Yeah, it's got a flooring, wires go underneath there. It's just like a regular house now. The plan said 15 inches, but it doesn't work. So currently, when I step outside my door around the kitchen, I step down and go down 2 steps to go onto some cement. Well, I mean, here's how it used to work. There used to be a door behind my garage, my refrigerator currently, that went out to the garage. It used to be there. It doesn't exist anymore. So that's gone. So now you have to go out this side door. You step down 2 steps. You step up 1.5 steps and go into the garage, right? So it's outside. And then but it's connected to my house. It just doesn't have a door anymore that goes straight into it. Then, let's see. So what's going to happen now is when I go out this side door, it's going to go flat straight onto a deck, and then one step up to go into the garage, and then the new deck is going to merge into the current deck that we have, and that portion's undercover anyways. So I think that'll be pretty sweet. Yeah. Probably made no sense what I just said, but huh? All right, you guys. Well, I apparently put you all to sleep, so I'm going to get the hell out of here. Thank you very much for being here, and let me read through the... So thank you to Lori Akers, Annabelle Stell, Lisa Valenzuela, Eugenie. Let's see. Sonia's been here for 5 months. Thank you. Tracy Nixon, 23. Lane Dune, 33. Long timer. Tyler Hackner, 1 month. Tyler Hackner also gifted a membership. Kathy Friedenmaker, Allie Cake, J. Sarah Books, 6 months. Relani Jones, Lex Luth, 7 months. Caligal 3 with a cat eye, Georgina Stoliker, Lady Lactuca, Lisa Murphy, Bama Forever with a cat eye, thank you guys. Mickey Duff, classical guitarist, Sonia, Dobby Smith, Jessica Schubach, Lisa Valenzuela, Eugenie, then Juju Positive with, she always does these like totally random numbers, like 80, you know, but thank you so much for the cat eye and a half, basically. Then Melanie Felony with a double cat eye. Then Brown Eyed Girl 714, Nikki Zubs, Jiggy England, Dan Keith became a new member, Texas Annie, and Crime Freak. So what if I give away 5 more memberships again tonight? What do you guys think of that? Because the people that will likely win the spin don't want the... well, I mean, I don't know if they want the notebook or not, but let me do a poll. Let me do a poll here. Actually, I'll do it reverse because people think if you type the first one in. All right, there we go. There we go. There's the poll question. Oops, I spelled giveaway wrong, but whatever. I was typing fast. What's yours, Sony? What kind of idiots show up and ask questions like that? Absolutely bizarre. Bizarro world, you know. Another new account, though, of course. So stupid. Dumb people. Let's see. Alright, looks like the membership is the answer. The answer. Hold on. And here we go. Think it worked now. Here in a second. Yeah, I guess you guys didn't block that person. What made you not want to? I don't know. Why do you care? They always ask those questions on any security See, this person thinks they're onto something. They're onto something. They've got it nailed. What about you? These people are such clowns. They show up out of nowhere and act like they're so super sleuthy. They've got it all figured out. Ooh, hey, what was your best friend in grade school? What was your best friend's name? What's the name of your first pet? Yeah. No, it's obviously not a real person. They're a troll. Yeah, their account was created 2 weeks ago, you know. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here now. Let's see. Welcome to... Let's see what we got here. Man, do you even like... Nomad Beats, do you even like this channel? I wasn't sure you liked this channel at all. Let's see. Or maybe you do. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Let's see. What do we got on this one here? Yeah, that one looks... That one doesn't look good either. This Chaos one here. That looks bad. That one's February 2023. Let's see what else we got here. This one is 2021. It's probably okay. This one is from 2012. It's probably good. But you never really know, really. And that one. So hey, Chaos, are you in there? Now the name's changed. Hold on a second. What happened right there? Did that one just disappear off the screen, or? Oh, that one got deleted. So you got rid of that one? Okay. Well, you don't need to... I don't know what happened to that one, but I'd like to... You know... Some people do just create accounts somewhat recently, but that one doesn't sound good. I see. I don't know how to unhide it because it doesn't let me do it. Well, let me do it. All right. Huh, that's weird because they don't even exist now. So Chaos, if you're out there, comment. Let me know what's going on. Who are you? You got 10 seconds to just say something. Hey, thanks, Crime Freak. I didn't boot them. I will in a second if they don't type in something. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good night. All right. Sounds good to me. No, you didn't. You missed the whole show, huh? All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. We got to the goal and then some. Crushed it, really. It was looking pretty slow and bad for the first hour and a half, but somehow, miraculously, it turned around when you least expected it. But anyways, thank you all for supporting the channel, hanging out here. Hit that like button. Make sure to make a comment, maybe about some of the other cases that we went over. I have this really long one that I'm just kind of waiting. It's such a weird story. These three, I think it was 2 or 3 girls, or I think it's 2 or 3, I can't remember, all murdered is way back in the 60s again. But it's just a strange story how it all got set up. Yep. Got to go edit day number 50 for the Jodi Arias trial. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for being here. And as always, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a... Thanks, animator.
Crime dissector.
Are you really an animator?
Projector. I'm a certified
animator.
human lie detector.
As in 3D
Gonna
animator?
get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, free connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, ya. Just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Good night, everybody. Gee. Hey, Gray, what's up with all the trolls?
Oh, they're just morons, you know. People that, instead of living their own lives and giving a shit about what they're doing with their own lives, they spend time worrying about what somebody else is doing and what other people are enjoying, trying to ruin it for everybody else, you know. But we just keep on trucking forward, everybody. We just keep on trucking. Thanks, everybody, and be safe out there.